Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here as we round out another very heavy week together. We do have news on the coronavirus tonight, that case of reinfection in the U.S., the death toll after Hurricane Laura, a family dying from carbon monoxide, and we will get to it all tonight. But we're going to begin with the history made in Washington, D.C. today, the March on Washington, first planned after the killing of George Floyd on Memorial Day. But they were there for Breonna Taylor and Jacob Blake and many others from all backgrounds, all walks of life. They were all demanding change today. The event at the Lincoln Memorial, where Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his I Have a Dream speech 57 years ago today. A sea of people required to wear masks, urged to keep a safe distance, some coming from close by, others from hundreds of miles away, calling for real and meaningful solutions amid deadly police shootings in this country. Among the speakers, the families of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Jacob Blake. And we heard today from Dr. King's 12-year-old granddaughter saying hers will be the generation that fulfills his dream. Demonstrators marching to the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial. And our White House correspondent Rachel Scott was right there for it all. And she leads us off tonight.
They lined up before dawn for a march unlike any the nation's capital has ever seen. Temperature checks and masks, a new generation gathering at the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, where Martin Luther King Jr. told the country he had a dream 57 years ago.
No justice, no peace.
In sweltering heat, thousands of Americans from all across the country marching to King's own memorial, sharing the pain of those who marched before them.
Shut it down!
I came here from Hartsville, South Carolina.
I came from Ohio for this march.
It's an amazing feeling that we're in Washington, D.C., from Milwaukee to Washington, D.C.
They walked for 24 days, nearly 800 miles, the same clothes still on their backs.
It's been an interesting walk. I mean, we've been called every name you can possibly think.
Tori Lowe set out from Wisconsin before a police officer shot Jacob Blake, telling me America is in a worse place than it was 57 years ago.
We have to get to a point in America where we address the sickness of America, which is racism.
Jacob Blake! Jacob Blake! Jacob Blake! Jacob Blake!
Blake's father here too, speaking as his son still lies paralyzed in the hospital.
Every black person in the United States is gonna stand up. We're tired. I'm tired!
This year's march fueled by this moment of national reckoning on race, sparked by the killing of George Floyd.
I wish George were here to see this right now.
His brother breaking down, his sister taking the mic.
We have to be the change, and we have to be his legacy.
For Allison Williams, that call is a personal one.
I'm watching the tears swell in your eyes. This is very personal.
Yes, I have a son. I had to give him that talk. I had to sit him down to tell him what to do in case he gets stopped. He's been stopped multiple times, and every day I pray that God would put a hedge of protection around him. But it's time, you guys. We've got to vote. We've got to change this country now. We can do it now, but everybody has to take a part now.
Perhaps the most stirring words from the granddaughter of Martin Luther King Jr.
We are going to be the generation that dismantles systemic racism once and for all, now and forever. We are going to be the generation that calls a halt to police brutality and gun violence.
Yolanda Renee King with a rallying cry to the youth of the nation to take up the fight.
We stand and march for love, and we will fulfill my grandfather's dream.
Powerful words there in Washington today. Rachel, I know you've been reporting for us all day long. I know you've been interviewing Americans who've gathered there in Washington, and you have said that there was a recurring theme, that many have told you that this is more than a moment, that this march is a call to action.
David, nearly every single demonstrator I spoke with today made it clear that they want this moment to turn into action. They say this was about putting pressure on Congress to pass police reform and ensure voting rights ahead of the November election. David?
And they got this march in before those darkened skies moved in. Some inclement weather on the way. Rachel Scott, excellent reporting all day long for us. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.